Thanks.
All right, everybody, welcome in. William, once again, from Film Snob Reviews, here with the lovely and talented Robert Schwartzman, director of the brand new comedy, The Argument, available on VOD now. Robert, say hello to everybody.
Hey, everybody. By the way, I like the word lovely. I like that you said I'm lovely, because I'm never... I mean, it's a cool intro, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, honestly, I have spoken to you before for your last film, The Unicorn, which I saw at the Las Vegas Film Festival, which was a very different movie from this one, but only slightly.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I hope they're different. I mean, I don't want to make the same movie again.
Well, and that goes back to my first question. What is it like making three movies that are very different? Dreamland is different from The Unicorn, and this is different from that. What is it like making three very different movies?
Well, first of all, I'm happy you've seen them, and I appreciate that. And I did have a great time at Las Vegas Film Festival, and it was like very cool to get in and be accepted there and to be able to attend it. I spend time in Vegas, and I really enjoy, being there and all my friends out there.
Yeah.
And the art community there is amazing. So it's incredible just to be a part of it. So the new movie, The Argument, is definitely different than The Unicorn. And what drew me to it was that it wasn't sort of a straight down the middle. And I don't mean that for The Unicorn, but The Unicorn, I think was a certain type of comedy that some people can identify with as far as the subject matter and the sort of the plot of the couple, and the sort of comedy that's happening was driven by a lot of improv actors, like a lot of SNL talent. The Argument is sort of is a more unusual, I would say, like a bizarre comedy, absurdist comedy. It's a bit like, the performances are larger than life in a way. They're bold, very colorful film, very Los Angeles throwbacky kind of Hollywood style. It's all in one location, which is, very different than obviously The Unicorn, given it was sort of one night in Palm Springs out on the town. Also, this movie, The Argument, is more of an ensemble piece. So it's really like a group of actors coming together, and sort of the plot thickens, every step of the way. So anyway, and what I also love about it is it's kind of play. It's like very much like a play. When I read it, I was like, wow, this could be done on stage. Like, we could do this live. And there were aspects of the movie in the sort of preparation for shooting that we did live. We staged it like live. So it was very fun for me, just because I admire theater so much, and I got to dabble in it with The Argument.
I like that you said that, because there are hints of classic screwball within this, especially with the performances. Being that it's an ensemble piece, and I think that you're right. Every performance depends on the rest of the cast to kind of work off of each other, and that is like a play. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you took like a house and sliced it in half, you could put it on stage, and you could see how the actors go from room to room. And I always love like watching staging, like live staging. So we tried to create that within the movie, and we didn't have any like major set pieces that would like break the sort of one location of it all and heighten things. So we found we could heighten within performance and within style, within, certain ways we shot the film. If you recall, and not to spoil it for people, not that this will spoil it for anyone listening, but like, the opening part of the movie is all shot in a way, it's very fluid and cinematic. A lot of motion in the sort of crafting of the shots, the composition of the shots. And as the movie, gets more chaotic and they start repeating the night over and over again, we do get more freeform with how we shot it. It's more handheld. Things just start to feel a little more crazy, as if you were an audience member, a fly on the wall in this house. We wanted to take the audience on a journey and have the movie visually tell its own story. When you shoot in one location, there's only so many places you can put the camera after a while. So we were hoping that the audience would forget that we're in a house the whole time, and you just kind of go, oh, okay, I'm watching a movie now. And that was the hope. And I feel like people have told me they felt that way. They lost track of the fact that we haven't left this house pretty much the whole time. which I enjoyed to hear that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that when you can't change the scenery, you change how you look at it, and that's exactly what you did there.
Exactly.
And I think one of the hidden aspects that I really loved about this movie, you got a really talented cast yet again.
So good.
But I think that Cleopatra Coleman stole the whole show from everybody. Yeah, honestly, she's incredible. She's great in it.
She's so good, and she definitely in the screens was like a favorite for a lot of the viewers. So it's cool that you said that, and I'm happy that the final result carried through that same feeling. That's a hard character to play. Her character Trina is not easy, and on the page you could interpret Trina in different ways as an actor. But Cleo like had a lot of fun with this role. Like if you look at her previous work, like she's done sci-fi action movies like Netflix like action. She's really funny, and she's a great sense of humor, and she's a really fun person to be around, and she's very collaborative. And there was I will say this about everybody. I'm not just saying this, but like everybody was a real like pleasure to work with. Everybody really brought like their A game to this film, to the argument. And like for me, I wanted to just be as supportive as I could to help tell the story and work with them so everyone felt comfortable. But I'm happy, everybody does shine in this movie. And there are actors who aren't known for comedy in this movie, like Maggie Q is not known for her like comedic, qualities as an actor. She's hilarious in this movie. And she's like so good. I mean, again, another person who shouted out is Maggie. And anyway, so it's fun to be able to make a movie that we pulled in different styles of actors, and they found harmony within their performance with this material.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong about Maggie Q. I think she plays a great straight man in the comedic duo of the film.
Right, which is hard to play because people want to go more. Like, it's hard to hold back. They say for the best musicians know when to rest. Like when you look at sheet music, there's a rest written into the music. Mm-hmm. Like some of the best musicians know how to stop playing. Like their instincts tell them I shouldn't play here. And that's actually what makes them so good, is because they know when to come in and they hit the right note and it's the right thing. And it's like, I think for an actor, especially a comedic actor, it's easy to go all the time. And then in the edit, you pick out the pieces you need. That was very Unicorn-like. Like we let those actors go because that's what they do best. And we then shaped their performances and the story after a lot of edit, They gave great performances, but we were able to sort of chisel a performance out of it that we wanted to help complement the story we were telling for the Unicorn.
Yeah, I like that you use that analogy. It is ironic that you would use a music analogy, given your prior engagements in music, as it were. Which, by the way, they were good.
Thanks.
Those need to be said. If people don't know, Robert is multi-talented. Not only is he a director, he's also an actor, and he was in a tiny little band named Rooney.
Rooney, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a multi-instrumentalist. I can call myself that.
Yeah, see, I mean, if you haven't checked it out, Blue Shine, She's Shaking, go listen to them. They're great.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
So back on what we were talking about and what we're doing here.
Yes.
Making a film like this can never be easy, especially one where I'm quite certain that, when you pitched the idea of shooting a movie in one place to everybody using this Zach Stanford script, they were not too happy to say, let's just throw money at this thing. So how was it getting around that?
Well, we even with the Unicorn, I think there's a group of financiers, who were willing to, continue to make movies together. Mm-hmm. I think we've done our best to try to be really mindful of what we're able to commit to these projects, from a financier perspective. Mm-hmm. And just to speak in broader terms for other filmmakers listening, a script has a price tag as far as the demand of the material to pull it off. Not everything has to go into someone's pocket. It can go on the screen. It's the same. I want to see it on the screen. And, hopefully you put your money in the right place. Like it's like building a house. Like if if you know the neighborhood you're building in, the size of the house, the size of the lot, like you use these factors to help determine the demand, like sort of the cost of something. You work your way back from the material of the script. And but yeah, I mean, like I feel very fortunate that we have a group of financiers who were able to take a risk, like on this movie, on the argument and the unicorn as well. We tried to be really competitive with like how we put the movie together, so we didn't put anyone in like a bad position, because we really care about everybody contributing, that they feel protected, in this process. Mm-hmm. So and also I will say, like, doing a movie in one location is very challenging across the board. Like, it's challenging to budget a movie like that. It's challenging to pull a crew together and a cast to believe in it, and it's challenging to like to direct a movie in one location, just to how to tell that story. How do you make it feel like a movie as opposed to like a short film format, which one might think that's perfect for. But I feel like the challenge was welcomed for everybody involved. I think we all felt this is going to be fun. It's like when you throw something like a workout like something at you, you try to throw an obstacle in the way of the creative process, and sometimes those hurdles can be more inspiring, because it keeps you on your toes, and you have to be really willing to adapt and be malleable and fluid throughout the process. But yeah, I mean, we shot it really quickly. Part of the attraction for me to the material was that we could shoot it in one house, because I've been wanting to do that. Every movie I've done, you said earlier, you mentioned Dreamland, The Unicorn, and The Argument.
Yeah.
I feel like every movie I've worked on as a director, I've been attracted to the challenges that each movie has within the sort of DNA of the project. I mean, Dreamland was my first film, and just the hurdles of taking on any movie, but we squeezed the budget to a place where we could actually go out and raise it and do it. We had to turn certain locations into many locations. That was very challenging to create. A world within a few locations was challenging. Dreamland was we bit off a lot of story to tell. It takes place over a longer period of time. More characters, which really does break the rules of an independently financed film. More characters, more locations equals trouble. The Unicorn was one night. It's an adventure like in one night. And that was interesting to tell that kind of a story. Like, how do we consolidate like a time frame? And then also I wanted to work with improv actors. Like, I was really attracted to the Good Neighbor group, like Nick Rutherford, Beck Bennett, and Kyle Mooney. I love that comedy trio, and I'm also a big fan of SNL, so I was like incredible to work with them. And Lauren Lapkus is like incredibly talented as a comedic actress, and her improv skills are like the charts. So I just really wanted to make a comedy featuring a lot of improv. So I got to make that movie in The Unicorn. And then in The Argument, I've always wanted to make a movie in one location. I've seen those movies, and I'm like, like, how do you do this? Like, we got to figure this out. So to me, it was yet another challenge, and also an ensemble, because if you notice, any director or producer listening to this, if you have 6 actors every day on your call sheet, every day in every scene, it's not easy, because you have to cover 6 actors every day. It's hard. You never really have a moment. There's only the stuff in the bedroom, really, where you have Jack and Lisa talking about their relationship, but most of it's an ensemble. And then by act 3, you have 11 actors in one room. So that's just felt like a challenge. And I feel like pleased that we were able to do it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That is quite a challenge. The next part is one of my favorite parts of any interview that I do. I like to get to know the tastes and the, backstory of the people that I'm interviewing. So one of the best questions I like to ask is, let's suppose you were stranded on a desert island and you could only take 2 films with you that would signify to people who you are as a film watcher, film enjoyer. What 2 films would you take, and why would they be those 2?
That's awesome. That's a great question. Well, I would have to have a TV, right?
You would, but we are under the assumption that you do.
So I'm on a desert island with an entertainment system.
It's just you
but
and the TV,
I don't have
yeah.
Netflix or
Nothing.
a streamer. I'm not internet connected. I only have a DVD player with 2 DVDs.
Mhm.
Well, one movie I love watching that I watch a lot is Singing in the Rain.
Oh yeah, that's a great pick.
That came to mind like right away because Singing in the Rain is the best. I don't know this next one. I feel like, probably like, shit. This is tough.
I know. That's what I asked a tough question.
Well, definitely Sing in the Rain. But my mind goes to like something in the '80s, like something kind of more lighthearted, like a fun '80s. I'll tell you, a movie I do watch a lot is Back to the Future. Like I went through like a Back to the Future addiction moment where I watched everyone back to back in high school. But I don't know. I like fun, ridiculous stuff sometimes. A great John Hughes, like fun John Hughes 80s movie, Weird Science or something like that. But definitely Sing in the Rain, and I want to say like Lawrence of Arabia. That's probably what I should say.
Yeah, well, you'd have time, so.
Well, Lawrence of Arabia is appropriate just because every time I watch it, I learn something new, and I feel like I see it a different way every time. So probably that one. Like I'd probably watch that a lot.
Yeah, that is the David Lean special where there's so much beauty going on that you always notice something new every time.
Yeah, and there's solitude. There's moments of solitude which maybe I would connect to.
One of the other interesting things about you in particular, Robert, is your family is sort of royalty around Hollywood and in the movie business, especially from the director's chair. Who are some directors that you look at as influences?
Well, I appreciate that, and I don't know, because I'll just say this. Growing up in a family of filmmakers, it was for me, it was just being around like artists who liked making things. Because you just get to be a fly on the wall and just kind of like, be out, like watch how things happen, and it's interesting to watch that. And then it can be a driving force to go create your own thing, in any industry for anyone around something.
Mm-hmm.
But, I guess, let me think. I obviously love all the great filmmakers that have come before. My Uncle Francis is, incredible, and I watch his movies, and just knowing him as a family member, he's just my uncle, so I have a relationship with him just as you would your uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's family, so there's that kind of relationship there. But when I watch those movies and go back and watch like The Godfather, I'm just like, I lose myself in them, and it's incredible that somebody made these movies. But Martin Scorsese, I just watched a De Sica, Italian filmmaker, Fellini. I like, I obviously, going back to my 80s phase, John Landis. I've watched a lot of his comedies growing up that really inspired me because I was a kid when I watched them.
Mm-hmm.
John Hughes. Obviously, when I was in high school, like Boogie Nights came out, and I like freaked out on it, Magnolia. So Paul Thomas Anderson would be like, later, closer as I'm growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are some good names.
Those are some great names. So it sounds like you've seen.
I don't know. These are the greats, right? I guess everyone.
Kazan is a good choice.
Some of those movies.
Yeah, On the Waterfront, Kazan's brilliant. I think that you've got some great things here now. One of the last things I like for everybody to do is, can you elevator pitch for me and the people listening your film, The Argument? Why should they?
Yeah, a couple hosts a cocktail party, and during the party they get into an argument. The night continues and they can't figure out who's right or wrong, so they decide the only way to find resolution is to host the night again, but try to recreate the events in order. And their guests join in the experiment of recreating the night again and again to try to find the truth in the argument, in all of their arguments.
All right. That is pretty much what the movie's about, but why should they see it?
Oh. Sorry, I was thinking like a log line.
No, you're good.
Well,
that's a great log line.
Well, if you want the pitch, if you were like, I was going to pitch you a movie, that would be the pitch. If I was going to pitch you why you should see the movie.
Yep.
Well, I'll say this. Like, we're living in a heavy time. There's a lot of stuff when you open your phone or go on social media. Like, there's a lot of change happening right now, like, in this country. It's a cultural shift. It's important. There's a lot going on politically. It's really heavy right now emotionally. Like, there's a certain, I believe in energy vibrations, and I think there's a sensitivity in the air, you know, just energetically right now. It's a very, like, confusing time of trying to sort of an identity redefining moment, which is really important. And, you know, I think the beauty of, like, a movie is it can provide, you know, a bit of a vacation, you know, from some of the things we're experiencing right now. So I think it's, you know, it just always reminds me, like, a great album or anything created for people as entertainment is, like, wonderful, because it can be a form of an escape or a way to kind of just, you know, check out for a second. And I think we made a movie that's, you know, comedies. It's fun. It's kind of ridiculous. I think that it has a lot of personality. And I think that it's not like your usual, like, I've seen this before kind of movie, I think. Like, I think when people out there watch it, you know, hopefully they take away something like, oh, this is like a cool, different kind of comedy. I haven't seen this kind of thing before. And I love the story, and I love the actors, and I love the performances, and actually I kind of relate to this, because I've actually had this moment occur, but I've never thought to recreate the night. I always wish I had a recording of an argument or a camera on me when I got into a fight, but the idea of recreating it is absurd. And if anyone thinks they can do it, that's crazy. But I'm glad someone made a movie about that.
I think that is a darn good explanation as to why you should check out this movie. You guys should check out this movie. It is available in certain theaters and on VOD right now.
Yes.
Let's all thank Robert for joining us and, you know, taking time out of his very busy schedule. Very busy, right? Especially
thank
now.
You. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me and watching our movie. And, you know, I think everyone who works on a movie, all you can ask for is that, A, you just try to make it and put it out. So that's like step one. And number two is if people actually like watch it. So I really appreciate you watching it and sharing it with your audience.
Oh, of course. I mean, like I said, I've seen everything that you made, and we look forward to whatever you do next. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell Jason we said hi.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much, man. Let me let you get back to your lovely new family that you have going on there.
Thank you.
Have a good day, Rob.
Awesome. Take care. Have a great one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right. Bye.